Ibn Khaldun is often hailed as one of the greatest thinkers in history, the father of sociology, the pioneer of historiography, and a genius who laid the foundation for modern economics. His works have influenced scholars for centuries, and his magnum opus, the Muqaddimah, is still studied today. But behind his groundbreaking ideas lies a life filled with political betrayals, exile, and near-death experiences. This is the dark truth about Ibn Khaldun, the man who rose to greatness, only to be cast aside by the rulers he served. He lived in an era of chaos, 14th century North Africa, a world of warring sultans, political intrigue, and shifting alliances. His brilliance was undeniable, yet his intellect made him both valuable and dangerous to those in power. He was not just a scholar, he was a survivor, navigating the treacherous waters of medieval politics, often finding himself trapped between loyalty and self-preservation. Born in Tunis in 1332, Ibn Khaldun came from a prestigious Andalusian family that had fled to North Africa. His early life was privileged. He studied under the best scholars of his time, mastering Islamic jurisprudence, mathematics, and philosophy. But his comfortable life would soon be shattered by a series of events, forcing him to rely on his wit rather than his lineage. At just 17, Ibn Khaldun experienced his first taste of political betrayal. His parents and many of his teachers were killed in a plague that ravaged North Africa. Left alone, he was forced into the cutthroat world of court politics. Every ruler saw him as a valuable asset. His intelligence made him a sought-after advisor. But his unwillingness to blindly serve those in power made him a constant target. Throughout his life, Ibn Khaldun would serve multiple rulers, each time hoping for stability, only to be imprisoned, exiled, or threatened. In Fez, he became a secretary for the Marinid Sultan, only to be accused of conspiracy and thrown into prison for nearly 2 years. But his mind was his greatest weapon. He managed to win the favor of the Sultan's rivals and was released, only to enter yet another treacherous alliance. He moved from court to court, offering his wisdom to rulers who needed his knowledge but feared his influence. His ideas about the rise and fall of civilizations, laid out in the Muqaddimah, were radical. He argued that dynasties followed a natural cycle, rising from strength and unity, but inevitably collapsing due to corruption and complacency. Many rulers saw this as a warning directed at them, and Ibn Khaldun's insights made him as many enemies as admirers. His most dramatic chapter came when he was sent as an emissary to negotiate with the infamous conqueror, Timur. The year was 1401, and Ibn Khaldun was trapped in Damascus as the Mongol warlord laid siege to the city. Realizing he had no choice but to meet the conqueror face to face, he took the ultimate risk, walking unarmed into Tamerlane's camp. What happened next was astonishing. Instead of being executed, Ibn Khaldun impressed Timurlan with his knowledge. The two engaged in deep discussions about history, governance, and civilization. Timurlan, fascinated by his intellect, spared him. But while Ibn Khaldun secured his own survival, Damascus was not so fortunate. The city fell. Despite his survival, Ibn Khaldun's legacy was far from secure. Upon his return to Egypt, he was given a respected position as a chief judge, but his decisions were unpopular, and he was quickly removed. He spent his final years trying to refine his theories, but by then his reputation had suffered. He died in 1406, largely forgotten by the rulers he once advised. But the Almighty had other plans. Centuries later, his work would be rediscovered and recognized for what it was, one of the most profound intellectual contributions of all time. His ideas on social dynamics, the economy, and the cyclical nature of power remain relevant even today. So why was he ignored for so long? The truth is, Ibn Khaldun was too ahead of his time. His theories exposed the flaws of ruling elites, making him dangerous to those in power. He was used when needed and discarded when inconvenient. His life was a testament to the fact that intelligence can be a double-edged sword, one that grants power but also invites enemies. Ibn Khaldun, as a genius, he saw the patterns of history clearer than anyone, but even he could not escape them. The same cycles of power and betrayal he wrote about would define his own life. And perhaps, in studying his life and his works, we can see that history is not just a series of events. It's a pattern, one that repeats over and over again. If we fail to learn from it, we are doomed to repeat it. So the next time you hear about the rise and fall of great powers, remember Ibn Khaldun, the man who saw it all coming, yet was powerless to change his fate. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with your friends.